Now, as a videographer, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, what is the best camera to buy? So today we're going to be going through the best and worst Sony camera bodies for you to own in 2025. So let's start off with one of my favorites, which is the Sony a7C. Now, a few years ago when this camera came out, it was such a game changer because it had the sensor of the Sony a7 IV, which is almost everybody's favorite camera to shoot on. And so the fact that you had a full frame sensor sitting in such a small crop sensor body was a game changer, and it even opened up a new Sony line, which is the Sony a7C. Now we have the Sony a7C II and the Sony a7C-R. Now, a few great things about this camera is that it shoots 4K 30. And like I said, it has such a small form factor that it does really well when you put it on gimbals. And then the other thing is it also has a flip out screen. Now, if you are a vlogger or maybe you make content by yourself and you need to look at yourself, having a flip out screen is so important. So the fact that you have all these great features in such a small body is what made this camera body so great when it came out. But the reason I would put this camera in a C tier alongside maybe the Sony a7 IV as well and the Sony a7S II, just because they're a little bit older and don't really hold up to all the newer things Sony camera bodies do now, even at a cheaper price point. Now I know what you're thinking, then why do you own it? Well, I still love using this camera as a B cam or even as a vlogging camera. This is still a 24 megapixel camera. So I'll use this for my interior shots when it comes to real estate, or even if I'm shooting some sporting events. Because this has a 24 megapixel, it beats my Sony a7S III, which is only a 12 megapixel. So even though this isn't something that I put in a C tier, it's still something I recommend you can use on your everyday shoots, depending on what you're doing and the quality you're putting out.